Hi guys, welcome to episode 2 of this retro database. My name is Chris, and first of all, I would like to just make a bit of an apology. Originally I was going to bring you back for the Colchester Oldham game. I had a couple of technical difficulties since I'm just stepping up, and I hopefully I've managed to sort it out. There's going to be a little bit of a change around with some of the matches today, but hopefully we'll find a way that works and we can move on from there. So as you can see in terms of our form, we have been absolutely excellent so far. Pre-season went really well, and we started off the league in fantastic fashion, winning all 5 of our opening league games. We've also won in the first round and the second round of the Coca-Cola Cup against Southend and Peterborough, so we're setting ourselves up really well to start off with. So today we're going to have Gillingham and Preston away. So what I'm going to look at today is for one of the games we're going to have a bit of a 3D highlights package, and for the other game we're going to have a 2D setup just to see which one works better, and hopefully you guys can give me a little bit of feedback on it just to see which you prefer. There might be a little bit of jerkiness to it, but I've only managed to sort it out the best I can with the programs that I'm actually able to use. So with the form, we have just completed transfer deadline day as well. So looking at our transfer history, we have managed to make some signings and we've also made plenty of sales. So from Gareth Taylor downwards, we've managed to sell quite a lot of players overall, really, for a total of about four to £500,000 altogether. A lot of these players were in the under 21 setup, but we have sold a couple of the first team players that I didn't really think were going to make much quality in the squad. So again, we've made quite a bit of decent money. We've sold a number of players there, and I have managed to reinvest some of it into some good signings to fill the voids left by the players we've sold. So the first player we brought in was Chris Makin. He came in for £40,000 from Sunderland. He can play left back and right back, so he's a good versatile option to have. Gareth Farrelly came in on a free transfer from Everton, and as a central midfield option, I think he looks quite good. His physicals could do with some work, but I think overall he is a player that could develop into quite a good player. And at the age of 23, he does still have that little bit of wiggle room for the development, and is quite versatile as well. He can play in the holding midfield, and he's also accomplished on the left-hand side. We then had a look for a goalkeeper, so we brought in Russell Holt on a free transfer. Some of you may have heard the name. He played in the Premier League for West Bromwich Albion. He's coming largely to be a backup to Nicky Weaver, but we hopefully will have enough cover in the goalkeeping position. Now, we did also sign another goalkeeper later in the window. We'll come to him in a moment. So in terms of central midfield, I decided that I needed one more signing in there. So I brought in Darren Ferguson, and yes, it is that Darren Ferguson. He is Sir Alex's son, who obviously has managed at Peterborough previously. And with the fact that he's got such good passing ability in that central midfield and he's a very determined character, I think he'll be a very solid option in there as a backup player. We then looked for an optional striker, and John Macken came available. As you can see from his value, between 650,000 and £2.5 million, we signed him for £250,000 from Preston, and he actually signed for City in real life, so it's not completely unrealistic. And I was really happy to bring him in for that price. And at 20, he will only improve as well. And for the time being, he's going to act as more of a breakthrough prospect. He'll come in behind Sean Goater and Paul Dickoff, but he will definitely get game time. We actually made 2 signings on deadline day. We brought in Kevin Poole. He's a 35-year-old goalkeeper. I've largely brought him in as an extra backup in there because Nicky Weaver is actually currently on under 21 international duty, so we did need another goalkeeping option so that we have one to start and one on the bench. And then we also needed a right winger. Now, we only had Sean Wright Phillips in the end. I decided to terminate the loan of Terry Cook. I didn't feel like he was quite good enough, but it did take me a while to find a decent option for that right hand side. So Matt Hayward has come in for £125,000 from Burnley. He's worth between 300 and 600,000 already, which is absolutely fantastic, really. It means that if, for whatever reason, he doesn't develop into the player I want, we should make a decent profit on him. And again, he's a fairly determined character. He's got He's quite a tall player actually, which for out wide can be quite useful. If the ball is spread out wide, he will win the headers. As you can see, he's got a 16 rating there for heading, so he'll be able to knock it inside, ready for the striker. And his physical attributes are actually quite good as well. His balance leaves a lot to be desired, unfortunately, so it looks like, by the looks of it, he'd probably fall over quite a bit, but we'll see how he gets on. He is good enough to be playing in the first team, but I want him to largely be a backup to Sean Wright Phillips. So without further ado, this is the actual squad that we've got now, and we've got a good balance, I think. Overall, we've got options across the pitch, and they're all players that can cover for one another should we get any injuries. Michael Brown was a player that I thought would end up leaving. He is wanted by a number of clubs still, but the deadline day has passed now, so we've got him until at least January. He's a very, very good player, but unfortunately we had an offer come in and he wanted to leave, but I felt that the offer wasn't good enough, so between myself and the player we agreed for a fee of £1 million. No one even came close to that, so therefore he is still at the club. So we're going to go into our first game against Gillingham, and hopefully we'll get a good start for after the transfer window. Obviously we've had a really good start to the campaign with 5 wins out of 5 in the league, so I'm just really hoping that we can continue that run of form. Kevin Poole is going to come in for his debut because Nicky Weaver is on under 21 international duty, I believe, with England. So again, it raises awareness for the club as well. When you've got players playing at under 21 international level, especially for England, it is a really good sign considering the level that we are playing at the moment. So I'm hopeful that we can get another good win. With the way that we've been playing, I am very hopeful that we can continue our good run of form. So I'll just have another look at the setup to make sure everything's fine. We've got the 2D1 here first. So what I'll do, I'll continue with the 2D1 for the Gillingham game, and then when it comes to the Preston game next up, what I'll do is I'll change it to a 3D version just to see how we get on. So as you can see, it's quite a basic one, the 2D, and Gillingham got the first proper chance of the game with Butters with a free kick. He's going to swing it in and round, and Kevin Poole makes a good save to tip it round for a corner kick. I'm just going to speed up the highlights ever so slightly, just to make it run a little bit smoother. So Ayr is delivering the corner and Edgehill gets it clear and Sean Goulter is immediately onto it. It doesn't come to anything, but it's a very positive start by Gillingham, which is a bit of a concern. But we have been quite free scoring so far in the games, so hopefully we can just push ourselves forward a little bit and get the first goal just to set ourselves nicely. Another little bit of an apology, I was at the Bristol City game on last night, so my voice might be a little bit crackly. I've been doing a little bit too much shouting, I think, so hopefully you can hear me reasonably well enough and we'll get on nicely with it. So we've got another set piece here. Pollock is bringing it in and it's headed clear by Gillingham. Morrison has managed to get onto it, but again, nothing extra has been created there. And it's a bit of a tight opening 15 minutes, but we're looking quite sharp now as Pollock plays it over the top. Couldn't quite find Goulter or Russell, but that is a brilliant switch of play. And Sean Wright Phillips is in, but it's just wide of the post. And a very good chance for us there. Pollock with a free kick here, whips it in toward the far post. It's headed away. Michael Brown has managed to get onto it here. Switches it back to Pollock. And Pollock is wide left here, finds Craig Russell. Back to Chris Mackin. Now Pollock again, Vikings. We're moving the ball about really well here. Sean Wright Phillips is in and he's found Sean Goulter in the centre, and that is 1-0 to Manchester City, and a really good start to the game. 16 minutes gone and Sean Goulter has got us in front. So as you can see from this little section here on the left, match stats always come up here. We've got really good amount of the ball at the moment. The XG, which is your likelihood of goal scoring, is a lot higher than Gillingham, and we're creating chances at will at the moment as well. We're playing really, really positively, and it looks like we could get another good win here. So we've got another start up here. So Pollock is moving the ball backwards here to Morrison. Morrison knocks it over the top and Craig Russell is in here. He's got support in the centre and Sean Wright Phillips just knocks it in. It's 2-0. We are 31 minutes gone and it looks like we're heading for another good result here at Manchester City. Straight from the kickoff, we've got another highlight here. It's Bryant, plays it back to Butters. Butters in Southall in the centre there, into Statham. He knocks it straight over the top, and Taylor's in behind here. Poor defending from our point of view, and Poole has been beaten, and immediately Gillingham have pulled the goal back. Very poor defensively from our point of view, and Poole unable to keep a clean sheet on his debut. Hopefully we can still keep it a little bit tighter than that. We have been a little bit leaky in terms of goals. We've had a few clean sheets as well, but in some of the games where we've scored 4 or 5 goals, we've conceded 1 or 2 at the same time. So it's a little bit of a concern, but hopefully we can continue to outscore our opponents at this level that we're at the moment. And again, we've got a highlight. It's working its way through at the moment, and we're coming down this right hand side. It's Sean Wright Phillips. He's just been blocked off by Masters there, and they've just lumped it forward. There's no one to aim at, and Tiscadad's just knocks it back to goalkeeper Poole. Here is Morrison now in the centre. Just holds on to it briefly, finds Pollock, back into Morrison. There's not too much movement here at the moment. It's a bit of a concern, but all it takes is one good pass forward and we should be in. And Michael Brown has found that pass to Wright Phillips, who looks to switch it, and Russell gets there, first time passing to Pollock, and Pollock plays it through, and it's 3-1, and we have restored our 2-goal advantage here, and we are looking very, very positive now. Good to see Craig Russell with 2 assists there as well. He's really having a good game. And we've got Pollock here with a set piece. In goes the corner. Tiscadad's is at the far post, and he's hit the crossbar, and it's going to be cleared away here by Gillingham with Hodge. Another really solid effort there. It would have been game over if we'd have knocked the 4th in. But really positive first half display there. I'm extremely happy with the way things are going. Cannot argue with that at all. So Gillingham are moving forward at the start of the second half, but the throw-in is poor. Tiscadad's has just cleared it straight into Statham. He's knocked it over the top looking for Hodge, and he's found Taylor. It's 3-2, and Gillingham have pulled the goal back right at the very start of the second half. Oh, as it turns out they haven't. Offside has been given, which is quite fortunate really, because I thought he was onside. Hopefully we can be a little bit tighter than that in defence, because once again it's a bit of a concern that they are breaking through so easily at the moment. We are going to look at making some substitutions. I think fitness-wise we're not looking too bad considering the style of football that we're playing. But we're going to bring Tiscadad's off. I don't want to risk any red cards. And we're going to bring the veteran Richard Jobson on, and just to hopefully shore it up in there. Again, fitness-wise we're absolutely fine, which is labelled here by these little heart options here. Just signifies their condition. They're all looking good at the moment, and we're looking very, very good for the win, as the game is going to trickle out towards the end by the looks of things. Might make another couple of substitutions just to give players game time, but we'll see. Pollock into Brown, now Vikings. This is Edgehill. He loses out to Masters, who finds Bryant in the centre. Now Carr knocks it over the top. This is Hodge now. Hodge plays it through, and it's Ryan Taylor who's through again here for Gillingham. It's Ryan Taylor. He's been brought down by the substitute Jobson. It's a penalty kick to Gillingham, and it's not the introduction I really wanted from Jobson. Ayr converts the penalty, and it's 3-2 now, and I'm a little bit concerned that they might get back into this game here. Andy Morrison we're going to bring off at centre-back. We're going to bring Tony Vaughan on. He's not had a good game, Morrison, overall. We're going to bring John Macken on as well. Sean Gold has been a bit quiet since he had his goal. We're going to show things up a little bit more in midfield. Michael Brown off for Kevin Horlock. And I think Neil Heaney we're going to bring on for Craig Russell as well. So we'll confirm those, and immediately we'll try and see this game out. I think I'm going to just demand a little bit more as well, just to get the players' focus up, showing that this isn't quite good enough and that we want a little bit more from them. Neil Heaney's just about managed to keep that in. He's found Making, and I tell you what, that was a brilliant effort from distance from the fullback. It was just over the crossbar, and it looks like we might live to regret it if Gillingham continue this push forward. but it looks like we are holding on reasonably well here. The game's just starting to trickle out towards the end, and I'm hopeful that we can hold on for this 4 minutes of added time. Pollock has got a set piece here. He's going to whip this corner in. In it goes. It's cleared by Rogan. Gerard Vikings is there to mop it up. And he's played it back out wide to Pollock, and there is space to attack here, and Bartram has absolutely fumbled that in the Gillingham goal. Pollock has managed to squeeze it in. Surely, by the looks of it, it was the power of the shot that just beat the goalkeeper. He couldn't keep it out, and Jamie Pollock has scored his second of the match and secured the victory right at the end of the game. So that makes it 6 wins out of 6 in the Premier League, and it's a really positive result again. Again, I'm a little bit concerned with the defence. We've conceded another 2 goals there. A win is a win, but we really need to sort out what's happening defensively at this moment in time, I think. First of all, I apologise. We're actually going to come back for the Chesterfield match, and we're going to remain in the 2D mode of Match Engine. I did try the 3D. It didn't record well at all, so I've decided to remove it, and we're just going to stick with the 2D version. So we're actually at home to Chesterfield. Chesterfield are currently 21st in the league, as Preston were when we played them. We did actually manage to beat Preston by 4 goals to 0. It was a very convincing win, and we managed to get that very important clean sheet. So we've got Nicky Weaver in goal, Chris Makin, Morrison, Tiskadads, Edgehill at the back. We've got Vikings, Horlock and Pollock in the midfield 3. Russell and Wright Phillips remain the pairing out wide, with Sean Gota starting for us once again up front. So far we've had 7 wins out of 7 in the league. I'm hoping to make it 8 out of 8 considering Chesterfield's current form. They actually lost their previous game by 8 goals to 2. They got absolutely smashed in their last match. So I'm hoping that we can compound that misery a little bit more. So I'll just reset that to the 2D that we were on, and hopefully we will have very little in the way of hitches with this match. So I want us to get off to a nice quick good start once again, the way we did in the last game. We're doing really well at the moment. Fulham have also won once again to my knowledge, so we have got to continue this run to stay atop even though we've got a game in hand. As Macon plays it out wide to Russell, who plays it into Sean Gota, and it's somehow cleared away off the line by Chesterfield. Really positive start. Yep, there you can see Fulham are a goal up against Oldham. Barry Hale scoring in just the first minute there. Corner kick for Chesterfield. It's played in. It's cleared away. Only as far as Mitchell, but Sean Wright Phillips has managed to get onto it here. Now Vikings. He has support. He tried to play it back to Wright Phillips, and Mitchell actually intercepted it, but he couldn't do a lot with it, fortunately. So we've regained possession as Pollock knocks it over the top, and Richard Edgehill, the fullback, is in, and Edgehill strikes, but it's over the bar. He is a fullback for a reason. He isn't a good finisher. Hopefully we can create more of those chances for our more attacking players and get ourselves ahead. But as you can see, we're once again doing very well in possession, hitting just short of 70%. We've got plenty of shots on target at the moment in the number of shots that we've had, and XG is certainly in our favour. Oldham have actually equalised against Fulham, so that will do us a massive favour. But considering Chesterfield's last game, I'm a little bit concerned that we're not in front at the moment. We haven't really looked like doing a lot going forward. We have got options on the bench, of course, when it comes to it in the second half. Sean Golds is currently our top goal scorer, but he's not seen any chances practically at all. But that is a brilliant effort there. Horlock with the set piece. Tiskadads at the near post, winning the header and putting it in. It's 1-0, and Tiskadads, I think that's his 5th goal of the season. He's been very effective from those set pieces. Gerard Vikings into Pollock there. And Pollock on the edge of the penalty area strikes, and it's just over. And again, another really good effort. All of a sudden, we're looking a lot more confident. Pollock with a corner, with a free kick, sorry, and Morrison's header goes just wide. We seem to have certainly picked up the pace in the last 10-15 minutes of the first half. It's half time, and it's a 1-0 lead. Chesterfield haven't threatened us too much, but again, I want us to remain focused in the second half. When it's 1-0, there is always a danger of the other team getting into it, regardless of how much form they're in. We really need to stay on top of our current run. We've got another highlight here with Horlock in central midfield into Gerard Vikins. Pollock plays it out wide to the left for Chris Mackin. That's a brilliant pass into Craig Russell and a brilliant save from Mercer, and it's cleared away. Willis can't win it. It's Morrison into Horlock. The highlight hasn't ended, so it signifies we might get another opportunity, but it does come to an end eventually, and it remains 1-0. Kevin Horlock with a free kick looks toward the far post, and Tuskadads is there again. It's his 6th goal of the campaign, his 2nd of today. Brilliant, brilliant stuff from him, showing just how dominant he is in the air. And the Georgian defender is certainly proving to be a very key player for us this campaign. Kevin Horlock with both the assists, both from set pieces, of course. I'm really happy with how things are going there. We've been a little bit quiet in terms of our actual forward line. Craig Russell's playing very well considering. We're going to actually bring Paul Dickoff on today instead of John Mack and give him a little bit of game time. We're going to bring Matt Hayward on to that right hand side again, just to really edge him up a little bit. And we're going to bring Tony Vaughan on for Richard Edgehill, and we're going to switch him with Chris Mackin and push Mackin at right back and have Vaughan at left back. I'm very cautious with these things. If players are on yellow cards, I don't like it. I like to get them off while they're still on a yellow card, because we can't risk losing a man at any point in any game, regardless of whether we're favourites for it or not. There's been a massive goal there. Oldham are now ahead against Fulham. So in terms of the title race, the fact that we're comfortably winning here against Chesterfield, that is a massive boost for us. We're just going to make a couple of subs for the last 10 minutes. Tuskadads, he is on a hat-trick, but he's a very key player. We certainly don't want any harm to come to him. And we're also going to bring Gerard Vikins off, and we're going to put Heaney wide left again, and we're going to bring Craig Russell into the midfield, and we'll just drop Kevin Horlock back into that playmaker position just for that last 10 minutes, just to see the game out, hopefully. And again, it allows us to rotate a little bit when we're winning comfortably, and we've got those options to continue to push us forward. Fulham have actually equalised through Alan Smith. It's 2-2 in that game, and it looks like it's going to finish as a draw for Fulham, and we've got a nice comfortable 2-0 win there. And again, we have managed to continue our unbeaten start to the campaign. Really positive performance, and we're looking very, very good indeed. Again, apologies for missing out the Preston game. We had a few technical glitches again, but hopefully that one will have worked fine, and I'm hopeful that we've sorted out any issues we may have. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you next time for the next video, and hopefully we will come back, I think probably. Let's have a look at our fixtures. So we've got quite a lot of games coming in October. Currently 8 matches in October. We'll get a few of them played, and then we'll probably come back for the back end of the month. We'll either look at Reading and Millwall. I'll definitely show Millwall. It'll either be Reading and Millwall or Millwall and Notts County. So thank you very much again, and I will see you next time.